Oh man, I cannot freaking wait for Elder Scrolls 6 and of course Starfield. And today we've got an official update about the release date window for both of these titles. Plus, when could we potentially hear from Fallout 5? Well, we've got a lot to discuss, but welcome back to Open World Games. Let's do this. So yes, Starfield is coming up here, and also Elder Scrolls 6. I'm totally hyped for these games. And let's go straight to what was said recently from Eurogamer.net. Check out that link in the description below if you want to read on throughout that whole article. There's a lot of interesting details. But the main question was, when should we expect to hear more about Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6? Very good question indeed. And this is what Pete Hines of Bethesda had to say about this. He went on to say, a while from now and a really long while from now, respectively. Actually, I should not be quite so dismissive of the question, which is to say the time frame for Bethesda Game Studio titles has not changed at all. What changed was our desire to lay out a roadmap of those titles, not like, hey, they're going to be putting out a game every 9 months. No, it still takes them years in between projects, but because we were doing something so different on Fallout 76, taking that franchise in such a different direction, doing an online game that doesn't look like something you'd expect from Bethesda Game Studios, we thought it was important to say, hey, new IP, single-player, sci-fi thing coming. Hey, we are doing The Elder Scrolls 6 after that. So that people didn't start spinning off on like, that's the end of single-player games from Bethesda Game Studios. Time frame-wise, it would still be about as long as you would expect when you look at Fallout 3 to Skyrim to Fallout 4 to Fallout 76. It's still going to be those periods of time. That hasn't changed, or at least I don't think it will change from based on what I know. End quote. Wow. That kind of hurts because you gotta think about this. So we've got a 3-year rotation. Of course, you got to remember that Fallout 4 released on November 4th, 2015. And then we're getting Fallout 76 this year, November 17th, 2018. And then Starfield is going to be, if you go by the rotation, of course, Starfield would be releasing sometime in 2021. And then get this, the next Elder Scrolls game, Elder Scrolls 6, would likely release in 2024. And then you got to look at Fallout 5. You know, Fallout 5 is confirmed. It is happening, and that's going to be very single-player centric as well. Well, that looks like that can happen as late as 2027. Now, again, things could change. They did, hire a bunch of new staff. They opened up new studios for Bethesda. So hopefully that can alleviate some of this because, man, these franchises are hugely popular, and Todd Howard and Bethesda, they haven't been shy about wanting to get these games out more often. Of course, I really don't want to see annual releases of like a Fallout game. I don't want to see that at all. That would suck. And I think that's why they want to do Fallout 76 here as a live service game. Because, hey, they want you to spend years and years in one of the games that they have worked so hard on. And that live service is one way they can really get you coming back to that game, of course. I'm hoping, honestly, that Fallout 76 has an extremely long life. I would love that. I would love for all of us just to have a total blast with this one. And they continue updating it with really good, high-quality content. Because their DLCs for Fallout 4 were really impressive for sure. So they do know how to make really good additions to their games, and maybe that'll carry over into Fallout 76. But yeah, Starfield, I'm totally hyped for that one. It's really cool that they're going after something, sci-fi here. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with this one. Again, they haven't been shy about saying that this is going to be really single-player centric. And in the article, they said they are not abandoning single-player. Again, they're really trying to remind fans of that. But you got to remember that although this is something brand new for Bethesda, a sci-fi entry into what they're doing currently, you've got Elder Scrolls and then also Fallout universe as well. And then you've got the sci-fi offerings here with Starfield. That's not exactly 100% unique. You have to remember that Cyberpunk will be coming around during this time. I expect Cyberpunk to be launching here around either 2020 or even 2021, Cyberpunk 2077. And Bethesda, if they really want to stay competitive in this industry, I think they're going to have to really look at their animation technology and their facial technology big time and up their game in that regard in all of their franchises universally. So I think they're going to have to really start investing in that sort of thing going forward. And you've got to also remember, you guys may not know this, but EA is rumored to be working right now on a sci-fi open world game, and that's going to be coming from EA Canada, and then also EA, Vancouver, and Jade Raymond, who of course led the Assassin's Creed team. She's very, very successful with what she does. And the rumor is she's very curious about sci-fi and open world games. And, EA, they have not been shy about saying they want a GTA game. They really want their GTA game out. And I think it would be around the time the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Scarlet would come around. So 2020, 2021. So there's that competition to consider as well. And then you got to go look at Rockstar, what they are doing. Now, I don't know if they're going to be revealing something related to GTA 6 around that time. But it would be interesting to see GTA 6 emerging, the rumors during 2021. But that might be too early for Rockstar. Rockstar, like Bethesda, likes to take their time, and I prefer that. So I don't want them, rushing out games too much. I don't care for it when these companies just pump out the games just to get games out just because they are popular. And it's nice to see that Bethesda really takes their time with their games and offers us something when it comes to high-quality content. Now, speaking about Starfield again, another game that comes to mind is Beyond Good and Evil 2. Very sci-fi centric. Reminds me of Fifth Element. That's going to be coming up here maybe 2019, 2020, 2021. Who knows? That's a huge endeavor by Ubisoft. So you can see there's a ton of offerings here when it comes to sci-fi. And then Star Citizen may be nearing final release during that time. So lots of options for gamers. And you've got to wonder, would you guys have preferred Elder Scrolls to be coming out ahead of Starfield? That's something that I've asked myself if it would have been wiser to do that, simply because, I think Elder Scrolls would have really popped out perhaps a little bit more, considering it was, a different type of open world game versus a lot of these sci-fi games. But in the end, I am so freaking hyped for Starfield and Elder Scrolls. I mean, man, Bethesda, I feel like when they release a game, it's usually a really good game. I'm hoping that pans out to be true with Fallout 76. But every year, it just gets more and more competitive. Look at this year. You have Fallout 76 going head-to-head with some major franchises. Red Dead Redemption 2. Even Assassin's Creed Odyssey has been extremely surprising for sure. And then you got to consider all the Battle Royale games. But one thing that I think Bethesda has, and they've done very well, is secured an identity. You kind of look at their games and say, yep, that's a Bethesda game. And that's something that's kind of lost on a lot of games that are kind of newer. They're trying to secure their identity, and Bethesda has done a really good job of, in my opinion, kind of staying unique, even amidst a lot of this competition for sure. But yeah, let me know in the comments below which one you're more excited about, Starfield or Skyrim or Fallout 5. But man, I can't freaking believe that it would take this long. I think this gameplay demo here that you're seeing of Elder Scrolls Skyrim was like released in 2011. 2011. Can you believe that? That is mind-blowing. That is insane. It's been so long since we've received an Elder Scrolls game. I mean, come on now. I'm really hyped personally for Elder Scrolls. I'm really wanting that badly. I still think it's one of the best open world designs I've ever seen. Just exploring it was absolutely amazing. All the puzzles, the different things you could do, the dungeons, and of course you got to remember that I think the take on magic and stuff like that was a lot of fun as well. Now let's go over your top comments, shall we? So remember, as always, leave a comment down below. You never know, it could end up in a video. So let us begin, shall we? So the first top comment comes from Gothic Prophet, who says, beta pre-download already down, at least for me. Sad face. I checked as soon as I saw the notification for this vid, but it says it's not currently available. So, if you missed it, I did a video about Fallout 76 and the Xbox One beta was available for pre-download. You guys saw that I was able to download it myself. It is on my hard drive. Some of you managed to download it, and then some of you didn't. I don't know what happened, if this was a mistake on Bethesda's part, if they accidentally pre-released the client for the beta a little bit too soon or something. But I will let you guys know if they do have official news about pre-downloads or something like that related to that beta, either on Xbox One, PS4, or PC. And then hopefully, again, we get like a pre-beta for those other platforms as well. We already know we're getting early stress tests and stuff like that for Xbox One, but it sure would be nice if they did that same thing for, of course, those other platforms. All right, next up we have a comment from Kevin Powers who says, I want everyone to work with me to build a city in Fallout 76. Smiley face. See, that's one thing I'm so hyped for. I remember all the insane, incredible settlements we got from Fallout 4, and they've even upped their game even more with the settlement building here. You're going to have huge settlement building opportunities in this game, especially with those co-op locations. So let's go find those co-op locations as fast as possible, and then also I'm going to have you guys submit your best settlement builds as well, so look forward to that too. Alright, next comment comes from Angry Chef who says, remember when you purchased a video game and knew little about it? Back when the game developers were not asked 1.2 million questions about the game, it seems to me that people feel entitled to know everything about a game before it begins. We must know what monsters spawn in each area. You need to tell us about all the perks ahead of time. You are under no obligation as the game developers to tell us what the perfect spec is. I think people need to chill out a bit. We should be thankful that Bethesda has shared as much as they have, which in my opinion is way too much. Enjoy the game, but try to enjoy it without expecting everything to be handed to you on a silver platter. I hear you on that one. I think some companies have become more secretive. I know EA, they've gotten super secretive about the stuff that they've done, how they release information, but at the same time, for marketing, I don't know, it could be kind of bad to withhold certain things, but I do remember when games used to release very rarely, and it was like such a big event when one good game came out. Like when Metal Gear Solid, the original Metal Gear, came out, it was a big event. All you had was like espionage, stealth action, or something on the front. I can't remember what it said, but that just intrigued me immediately. That's all you got, really. Were those words in like a white cover, and then you look to the back of the CD case there, you're like, wow, what is this? And you really didn't have like negative opinions. You didn't have any positive opinions. You just had your own opinion. So it was definitely very, very different. And it's interesting to see how gaming has evolved so much. There's so many different opinions, and it's hard to hold your own, really. That's one reason why I'm like really very careful. At least with movies, I don't have to be as intensive about those. I don't watch trailers for movies at all. I just go into the movie theater and enjoy the movie without having spoiled. No opinions. I want to see this movie fresh, and I can see a lot of people want to do that with their games as well. Makes total sense. But guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned here to Open World Games for more Fallout 76, Elder Scrolls 6, and then you got to remember Starfield and Fallout 5. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more, and I will see you soon enough in the Wasteland. Take care.